After much encouragement, trying to get my husband to sell some of these parts that are sitting around that he pulled from his Jeep, why not get into selling some auto parts? So this was the first part that I sold. This may have been maybe the third item I listed that was in that category now. And I know that this is going to be a little bit more of a riskier category. What I did was I went into some of the auto parts category. I thought the item specifics in some of the, clothing and plush and stuff that I sell, they're kind of toys, was bad. But for me, now this is in my experience, listing in the auto parts is a whole nother ball game. This is in my experience, because as I was going through like this specific part, this computer part that goes to a Jeep, this part honestly took me about a good 40 minutes to list. As I was going through learning about listing, it's not only the 95. Some of these parts fit through maybe 90. They might some of these parts fit on vehicles from like 81 to 93, or that's just an example. But so this is some of the stuff that I was running into as a very inexperienced seller of auto parts. However, I was learning. The way I started was the first thing I did with these auto parts, now they're used, they're rusty, they're scuffs, scratches, etc. These are used parts. First thing I did is take a picture of it, and I Google Lensed it, seeing exactly what the part was. Yeah, my husband told me what some of these parts were, but I needed to know specific parts. I put it in Google Lens first, and then outside of eBay, and I would look for the specific manufacturer part number to really narrow down the item specifics. Now, some of them I was still clueless to, and some of these specifications that eBay has, all these specifications are not specifically listed on all of the websites. So what I was finding with listing these parts is these were taking a lot of time for me, and I'm learning, and I'm not giving up. So I listed some parts from the Jeep. This is what I've been doing. I would like to specifically have it like part, I do want this to be another one of my categories. Like, I sold that the same day I listed it. I was actually going to list it for a little bit over $200, and I should have listened to my gut. I did look up the sold listings, and they were selling for like $200-300. There wasn't a whole lot listed. So I know when I listed my item, I'd have a really good chance of selling that. A lot of cosmetic imperfections. I still did sell it for $99, and it would have just sat down there. Came from a vehicle that was running, worked, everything. So this is what I'm working on now, and this is why it's taking me a little bit of time. I am listing my other stuff in between. Let's get into some of my recent sold listings. Okay, so I sold this Surprisimals. It's a little eagle stuffed animal. This sold for $9.99. This I probably paid a quarter or 50. I sold this sterling silver pendant. This sold for $14.99. Any jewelry, I don't pay much for jewelry or stuff. I don't pay much for anything, to be honest with you. Jewelry and stuffed animals, jewelry I buy in lots, so I'm probably paying between a dime and a quarter a piece, if that. And for stuffed animals, I probably pay between 50 cents, $2. I usually pay $1 for a stuffed animal, though, unless it's a big one. But I usually try to buy them in lots. I sold this puzzle. Puzzles I pay between 50 cents and $1. This sold for $14.99. I sold this vintage boned girdle panty shaper. This sold for $11.99. Best offer, 50 cents. That I bought in a whole lot of panties and stuff that I got. These vintage Searling silver marcasite earrings, these sold for $31.99. These sold her basket. This sold for $32.99, and that I got for free. Disney High musical charm. This is in the video I just posted. This sold for $21.99, pennies on the dollar. Antique glass. Actually, this was over 100 years old. This was an antique spoon glass. This I got for free. This sold for $12.99. This vintage snapback hat, Chicago pumps. This sold for $19.99. This I paid 50 cents. I got this 50 cents or $1. This vintage Simon game, I paid $3 for this. This I sold for $29.99. This Playtex bra, $12.99. That came in a big lot of stuff I paid $5 for, so that was like probably 50 cents. These wooden black crows, these two crows, they sold for $24.99, and I got them for free. This Aurora orangutan, I paid $2 for that, and I sold it for $39.99. This bacon bracelet, this sold for $7.99. Penny plush puppet for the Incredible Hulk, this sold for $10.99. Hanes pantyhose lot, this sold for $10.99. The Silvertone heart earrings, $6.77. Sterling silver ring, $14.99. This vintage Olympics Montreal, Canada little, I don't know what you want to call it, medallion. This sold for $39.99. These women's academics jeans, these sold for $15.99. These vintage eyeglass brooch, this sold for $10.99. This vintage snowflake pin, this sold for $10.99. These vintage Christmas button covers, they sold for $12.99. A pinch starfish shoe clips, this sold for $14.99. This Calvin Klein long coat, this sold for $64. Book lot of 3, these sold for $10.99. This iguana, $12.99. $99 was only small. Another pair of panties, Kanye shoes, these sold for $27.99. This Stella and Dot necklace, $14.99. This vintage Welsh red dragon doily, $14.99. Charms bracelet, $9.99. These Cole Haan pumps, $17.99. These I paid $3 for. These were in excellent condition. Last year at a yard sale, paid $3 for I think 3 boxes of different pumps. This plush turtle, Kohl's Cares, $12.99. And I did sell that Need for Speed again for $32.99. These vintage Collies plush, $27.99. These candies these sold for $14.99. This puzzle sold for earrings, $7.77. Bracelet, and this is all a Poshmark. I sold this for $16. This Hot Topic silver studded bracelet, this sold for, for $9. This pair of World Market earrings, these sold for $8. This pink beaded bracelet, this sold for $11. This J. Crew necklace, this sold for $14. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already, please like, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.